Between the bells before the crowd, his desk sat quiet, far from loud. A folded note, no name in sight, but written soft in perfect light. My eyes caught ink, a sacred style, curved letter shaped to make you smile. And something in me dared to guess, then quickly whispered, don't confess. It wasn't mine, I knew too well that tone, that care, that subtle spell. I never wrote, I never dared, but still it hurt how much I cared. It wasn't mine, but still it burned, the way the paper softly turned. He read, he smiled, just faint, just thin, but not because of what I'd been. No envelope had held my name, no secret scribble meant my claim. Yet in that note I watched him shine and knew too fast it wasn't mine. Like being near but not aligned, a love observed not underlined. He tucked it quiet in his sleeve, like something soft you want to leave, but not forget, not cast away, just save for maybe one more day. I passed his desk, my steps stayed light, pretended not to watch that sight, but every glance I tried to steal confirmed the ache I didn't feel. The air was still, the sun was thin, but I could hear that note within. It hummed a tune I didn't write, yet echoed me in dim twilight. It wasn't mine, but still I fell into the wish I'll never tell. A wordless plea inside my skin to be the one he's folded in. But someone else had found the lines that danced inside his quiet signs. No pen of mine, no paper spine, just proof again. It wasn't mine. What right have I to try and prove that empty space across the page already wrote me off the stage? He smiled, and though he looked around, it wasn't me his thoughts had found. No eyes exchanged, no subtle nod, just distance dressed in classroom fraud. And though I stood a breath away, I wasn't in his yesterday. No ink, no fold, no closing line. It wasn't lost, just wasn't mine. And tired lights, the platform echoes late night rides. My steps aligned with soft regret. Just one more train, no plans just yet. And there he was, a flash of face between the wires and ticket trays. No words exchanged, just half a breath. A pause too small yet loud as death. I shaped a sound and met my lips, but silence tightened all the grips. He didn't hear, he didn't flinch. His world was sealed, no single inch. I almost said you did your best, but choked on hope inside my chest. You walked in songs I couldn't name, wrapped in a sound I couldn't tame. And all I had was half a word that never flew, that never stirred. He passed and I was just too late, a whisper drowned by silver dissolves at iron plate. He looked ahead, not left or right, his earbuds glowing soft with light. Some song I'll never get to hear, played louder than my quiet fear. His coat words and breath I saved that never crossed the noise you brave. I almost said you made it through, but let the silence carry you. Some songs protect, some songs erase, and mine just hung in empty space. He passed me by with perfect pace, no shame, no pause, no backward grace. And though I stayed, the night moved fast, with one word lost that might have last. The photo glowed across the screen, a freeze frame, life too sharp to clean. Laughter spilled in printed light, but I just checked if I looked right. Hair in place, my smile rehearsed, a second caught but never first. And while I stared at where I stood, he moved in ways I never could. He reached with ease, adjusted strands of someone else with careful hands. She smiled, he laughed, the group went still, while I stood framed against my will. He fixed her hair, I fixed my breath, while fading slowly from the rest. I checked my smile, my awkward lean, but no one checked if I was seen. No eyes met mine across the road, no sign to show what I don't show. And though I'm there, it's all the same, a presence pressed without a name. My face just part of symmetry. They circled in to point and joke. My image ghosted through the smoke, a blur, a tilt too stiff, too wide. I faded while they turned with pride. He smiled at how her bangs had flipped, while I watched conflict city clips. My voice stayed quiet, lips too soft. No one noticed I drifted off. Not cruel, not cold, not even wrong, just everyone where they belong. And I was there before and small, just background, barely there at all. He saw the strands out of her place, but not the sadness in my face. I fixed my pose and turned away, while voices danced in brighter gray. The flash went off, the group stayed framed, but I stood slightly out of aim. No smiles cute or you look great, just silence sealing every trait. I'm printed there, I have a place, but no one ever caught my face. The photo keeps what eyes let slip, a girl erased by fingertip. He touched her hair, not out of chance, but from the pull of second glance. And I just watched a silent flash that etched me in with no panache. No spotlight missed, no moment broke, just me beneath the surface smoke. The picture's clear, the moment fine, but no one looked to find me mine. Just a page, just casual lines. His notebook full of half-formed signs, but in the corner, soft and slight, a word that blinked in graphite light. One single icon, tilted script, too neat, too real, too tightly gripped. My heart leapt once, it felt insane, until I saw the other name. The S was his, I knew that loop, the way he writes in quiet swoop. But what came next erased the air, a name I never meant to wear. He wrote, I like, but not to me. The word was sweet, but not for his book, pretended still that paper doesn't bend the will. But in my chest a note was torn for something small I barely warned. That word was light but burned too clear and lit the truth I didn't fear. Not hate, not loss, just not for me. A truth that doesn't need to be. He never knew I saw that line, the curve, the dot that wasn't mine. But now it echoes quiet flame that he once wrote a different name. He wrote I like and smiled inside while I stayed just outside the tide. No confrontation, no reveal, just silence that I had to feel. The loops of letters curled with grace, but none of them had worn my face. And though the page was light and plain, I disappeared beside her name. Maybe I was meant to guess, to see, to flinch and feel it less. But letters don't forget their aim, and I'm still missing from that name. He wrote I like the words stayed soft, but everything beneath went off. I smiled like I was far away, like I was fine and didn't sway. But still the curve, the loop, the flame burned loud in silence, carved in shame. And somewhere deep I can't explain why I still wanted my name. Bus lights hum in fading gold, the evening paints in colors cold. He sat down next to me, no word, no spark, no glance, no sound occurred. His sleeve brushed mine, a fleeting line that looped a thrill I can't define. But in his ears a distant sea of songs that didn't carry me. I held my breath too loud to stay. His gaze was fixed a town away. No weight behind the way we sat, just space pretending none of that. He didn't see, he didn't know that I was swaying soft and low. The shoulder touched the empty glass where meaning fails but feelings pass. He looked outside now once at me and I became transparency. The bus rolled on, our shadows set, but I'm the one who won't forget. The seat was warm, the space was tight, but he lived somewhere out of sight. He might have smiled, I wouldn't know. The glass just held the afterglow. A blink, a sigh, a line of trees, but none of it was made for me. The sunset poured in pixel dust while I confused a glance for trust. Once all away from being near, but I still sat and disappeared. No volume high, no silence deep could reach the place where he would keep. He didn't hear my nervous breath, just drum beats soft like whispered death. My shoulder touched my heart when loud, but I remained outside his cloud. He never meant to make me small, but I was never there at all. And as the bus turned down the lane, I watched my hopes dissolve again. Maybe some things aren't ignored, just never noticed, unexplored. He lived a song I couldn't cue, and I just blurred in window hue. I sat beside, I breathed the same, but never entered in his frame. He saw the world, I saw his side, and wished that I could just collide. No hate, no wall, no missing piece, just quiet tension never ceased. And though my heart had tried to land, it missed the beat he didn't plan. white chalk ghosts I knew too well. I moved my hand across the slate in silent shape like second rate. The class had cleared, the light went low. The air still held a fading glow. And then his voice broke through the rest. Need help but not addressed. He asked but not to where I stood. Though I was there, though I still could. My sleeve was gray, my hand stroked, but I dissolved before he spoke. I was erasing to same line, but he chose her, not this outline. No spite, no smirk, just casual sound, but still it tore the space around. I didn't stop, I didn't freeze, just let my grip grow ill at ease. She laughed, he smiled, their frame was true, but I was erasing too. Chalk fades like unheard reply. My presence lost in lullaby. The board was dark, the sponge ran dry, and still he didn't catch my eye. He grabbed a rag, stood close to her, while I erased the quieter blur. The edge of class, the fading scene, where kindness skips the in-between. His offer light, a passing breeze that brushed past me with practiced ease. He didn't to make me small, but silence echoed through the wall. And in that choice of who to see, he wrote me out so easily. I was erasing too, but soft like words removed from pages. Soft, no spotlight here, no weight, no claim, just chalk that vanished with my name. She got his glance, his hand, his help, while I became my quiet self. The classroom hummed the empty cue. I was erasing too. What hurts is not what he forgot, but what he saw and still did not. I wasn't hiding, wasn't far, just not the one he counted star. I was erasing too so near, yet all I did fell out of sphere. Get out the scene he wanted seen, while I wiped out what might have been. The board was clean, the dust was gone, but I stayed there, left to move on. He walked away, the frame was new, but I was there, but I was erasing too. The hallway lights were soft and slow, our steps in sync like half a show. His shoulder just beside my own, not close, not far, just slightly known. The bell had rung, the stairs ahead, we moved like pages gently read. And I thought maybe just today we'd reach the next class side by way. But then he stopped and turned around, like gravity had changed its sound. He smiled and let that moment bend to wait for someone else, not friend. He paused but not for me, not now. She caught up light, I don't know how, and I mid-step just kept my pace. A shadow sliding out of place, no words, no pull, no wait for me, just hallway tiles and vacancy. I walked ahead like nothing cracked, but something never quite came back. Wait up, but not for me. flies, just one soft turn that cut the ties. And in that pivot, sweet and plain, he left without leaving my name. He waited not for who I was, the rhythm broke without a cause. She filled the space I almost claimed while I moved on, unnamed, unblamed. And though I passed the classroom door, I wasn't sure what we walked for. Not every step deserves a sound, some keep on just to not turn around. Just where you like paths unwound, big crushed echoes never found. Maybe walking's all I do when standing still means facing truth. That side by side was never meant, just borrowed time already spent. He looked behind and I looked through the space he gave the quiet cue. And though my steps stayed straight, polite, my silence cracked in sideways light. No anger, tears, or reason why, just hallway lines that pass you by. He walked with her, I walked with there, and learned what it means not to share. The kettle hissed, the silence stayed. Spring wrapped the room in muted shade. His hand reached out, same cup, same shelf, and I forgot to guard myself. Just two of us in pastel air, the kind of calm you wouldn't dare. I whispered soft, it's cold today, but steam took all I meant to say. He blinked and tilted, puzzled face like static blurred the words I placed. A sorry, what was that you said? My breath fell flat, my thoughts unread. I spoke but spring erased my voice as if I'd never had a choice. He heard the kettle, not my line, just missed between his world and mine. The warmth I tried to gently give evaporated where I live. He smiled faintly, nothing mean, but I dissolved behind the steam. Steam curled like memory unmade. My words misted, my hopes decayed. He stirred his drink, I stirred my pride, and let the silence help me hide. No second try, no louder pitch, just quiet settling in the switch. He left with cup, polite and slow, while I remained in overflow. The window blurred, the sink still steamed, and I replayed what never been. Maybe I was never near, just a shadow pose to clear, my voice too soft to touch the skin of someone never tuned within. I spoke but only air replied. He blinked and then the moment died. No malice there, no sudden shift, just proof I never had the gift to turn a glance into a thread, to make my warmth be seen, be read. He left and I stayed in between, half hope, half haze, half pure unseen. What I said was barely there, but still it meant that I could care. And in that room of faded white, he left and took away the light. My voice got lost in quiet air. He turned away, still unaware. Not cruel, not cold, just unaware, but somehow that was worse to bear. I warmed my hands on words unsaid, while everything I hoped had fled. In that that small space. I reached upstream but melted into kettle steam. Puddle stitched the courtyard cracks. The sky exhaled in silver blacks. He stood alone with folded blue, umbrella dripping morning dew. The world was slow, the moment bare, just raindrops left in warmer air. And then his eyes, they met with mine, like something paused between the lane. No words, no wave, no sudden spark, just silence glowing in the dark. But before the air could settle in, another voice had pulled him thin. He looked and looked away too fast, a moment built that couldn't last. Someone else had said his name, and I just watched him change the frame. The rain had stopped, the clouds had split, but still my chest refused to quit. He smiled but not towards me, just past the hope I used to be. Like sunlight that forgets your skin, he bled with mud again. His hands still wet from folded blue. He laughed at something breaking through. She stepped in light, her voice so near, while I stood stitched in fading fear. He didn't flinch, he didn't turn, just let the universe adjourn. And I became a paper trace inside a scene I couldn't place. Maybe it meant nothing at all, but why did everything then fall? A second stare I'll never keep, still haunts me somewhere underneath. He looked and then he looked away, like raindrops never meant to stay. That silent blink, that shallow nod, was all it took to lose facade. She had the words, he had the grin, and I was left with air too thin. The storm was gone, the sky was clear, but I was still not standing near. Legs laid right between the legs. It wasn't cruel, it wasn't cold, just one small truth the silence told. He saw me once, then let it fade, a glance that never really stayed. The rain had left, the scene was clean, but I still walked between the screen, where I was there but not quite real, just part of what he didn't feel. He looked and then he looked away, and somehow that still echoes gray. I never moved, I didn't speak, but something cracked beneath my cheek. Same street, same twilight bend, my playlist played its usual end. Shoes on gravel, heart on mute, just footsteps in their daily route. And then his face just up ahead, with someone laughing, cheeks in red. Her voice like bubble wrap in spring, unwrapped the silence I was in. He didn't see or didn't care that I was breathing shared air, just passed me by a flash, a beat, a smile to suffer city heat. He walked right past with laughter bright, a plastic bag and neon light. No glance, no pause, no second spin, just her voice wrapping him in. And I became a background blur, a sidewalk ghost to shift and stir. The punchline hit, but not on me, I was the line that he walked free. matched in pace in thread and knees, while I trailed off in minor keys. No storm, no fight, no broken vow, just them, just then, just here and now. The sky was soft, but I was cracked. Another truth I can't take back. The world kept moving, none of them paused. No guilt, no lie, no stated cause. He didn't owe me anything, yet I still broke like hidden string. He walked right past with casual grace, like I was air in empty space. She had the jokes, the bag, the wind, while I was locked outside his spin. He held her sound, not holding me, a choice he made unconsciously, but still it tore like falling rain, a love that missed the evening train. I didn't wave, he didn't stop. The moment passed, a quiet drop, but now it loops inside my head. The way he smiled, the words unsaid. He passed me by and didn't flinch, but time still moved inch by inch. The bag he held was light and yet it carried all I won't forget. I took a breath, let go the frame. No accusations, just no name. And somewhere else they shared the sky, while I just walked and learned to lie. Paper streamers in the air, he moved like he belonged there. Scissors flashing in the light, his sleeves rolled up just right. I stepped in like a whispered line, heart rehearsed the perfect sign. Need a hand, my voice was clear, but his reply rang far, not near. He smiled like I hadn't failed, but distance in his tone prevailed. A simple phrase, soft spoken wall. No need, we've got it, that's all. He said it nice, he said it light, but still it stripped away my right to stand beside, to be a part of what once flickered in my heart. He didn't mean to lock the gate, but kindness seals a silent fate. Already enough, the words like air disguise the truth. I wasn't there. He turned away, returned to tape, while I pretended to escape. The lights, the buzz, the cutout signs, all blurred outside my fragile lines. I watched him laugh with someone new. Her hands were stained in paint and glue. They planned a banner, shared a theme, and I slipped out unseen upstream. He didn't know what I had stored in every step toward that board, but even sweet words close a door if they don't ask for you no more. He said it soft, he said it fair, but didn't leave a space to care. His team was full, his world intact, and I was missing from the act. The brush, the rope, the cardboard sky were all complete without my try. No malice there, just something clear, a place that didn't need me. pages. Time tucked tight between the stages. I reached for spines he might have touched. A whisper seen, a breath too much. And there he was already near. His fingers traced the title clear. A book I'd eyed my silent choice, but he spoke first with softened voice.
fast and you might miss, but I pause right where silence hissed. A photo white and full of sun outside the world where we are one. His name tagged twice, the colors bright among a group of weekend light. But there his grin, so pure, so wide, a version I had never tried. No tension in his jaw or brow, no filters holding him somehow. Just sunlight pouring through his skin like joy that never needed spin. That smile, it wasn't mine to see. No joke I told that set it free. A laugh too loud, too wild, too true. Reserved for skies I never knew. He beamed in frames I couldn't claim, and somehow that erased my name. A part of him had bloomed elsewhere beyond the rooms we used to share. He's so different. Where was I? Pixels like confession stung while I bit back the song unsung. His eyes were crinkled, arms out wide, like nothing left to mask or hide. Not the calm face I truth I'll never know. That smile so raw, so full of ease, like wind that dances through the trees. I'll never earn what she shot clear. That side of him I couldn't steer. So here I sit behind the screen with quiet thoughts that may be mean. He smiled like I don't exist, and somehow that's what leaves spread. Metal bench beneath the gray, trains pass like thoughts that wouldn't stay. I sat by chance or maybe fate. Two backpacks close, two hearts too late. He didn't flinch, just stared ahead. Blue screen flickered, thumbs unread. The space between us, one shared seat, but none of it was meant to meet. I held my breath just for a beat, but silence echoed more complete. He blinked, he scrolled, he didn't see the girl who breathed in symmetry. I was there like passing breeze, soft enough to barely tease. He never turned, he never knew that quiet sat beside his view. No lines exchanged, no shift, no glance, just distance dressed as circumstance. I whispered once, but not out loud. The wind just carried me around. Footsteps fade behind the track, while pixels hold what I still lack. The bench was cold or maybe numb, like every word I never strummed. He typed a laugh, the screen replied, while I dissolved right by his side. One station more, I disappear, like vapor drawn from atmosphere. He never knew he had a chance to catch the weight behind my glance. What hurts the most was not his look, but how the moment never shook. No pause, no skip, no second guess, just timeline feeds and quietness. I sat beside, but not inside, the space where he and I divide. He scrolled through worlds I couldn't see, while I became transparency. No scene, no spark, no whispered cue, just me unnoticed fading through. A girl too near to make him move, a presence he had nothing to prove. Every note like waiting still, while time just scrolls against my will. Maybe I'm just stare to him, something light, forgettable, dim. He'll never know I sat that day and tried to matter in some way. He never looked, but I was there, two shadows shaped by evening air. And though my name was never said, I left it there in thoughts unsaid. A passing breeze, a sidelong ghost, a moment meant for me the most. But on his screen the world spun fast, and I became a breath that passed. Just a shortcut, just a turn, where walls forget and shadows burn. The campus buzz fell soft and wide, as if the school itself could hide. Then laughter broke the faded air, and I stopped mid-step standing there. His voice but brighter, strange and free, like some new song he hid from me. She wore a badge I didn't know, another school, another flow. They stood so close, like timed and planned, like I just missed the cutest, and he laughed and it rewrote his face like joy had found its proper place. I stared as if through frosted glass, watching moments I can't pass. The smile he wore I've never met, a version he made me forget. Behind the school, a hidden scene where I'm not part of what he means.
Their silhouettes like folded time. My presence pause outside the rhyme.
She tilted up, he leaned in low. Their laughter stitched the afterglow. I thought I knew the way he spoke, but now his rhythm felt like smoke. That version of him uncontained was never mine, not even named. I bit my breath and looked away, as if I had no right to stay. How many faces does he wear, and why was mine just barely there? I thought I saw him, thought I knew, but this new light cast someone new. He laughed and it unspooled my frame, a stranger with his voice, his name. I stood outside that silent door where meaning bloomed, but not before. She sparked a face I never lit, and I fell back too late to fit. The world rewinds in muted hue, but never lands on me and you. Maybe I was never meant to see him when he's innocent. Maybe who I thought he'd be was built from what he showed to me. He smiled, but not for who I am. A shade of him I couldn't plan. And as they walked beyond the frame, I whispered once, but not his name. No confrontation, no reveal, just quiet proof of what is real. Behind the building, truth ran free and left a version not for me. The school gate clicked, my steps were light. I checked the time, the sky was right. Our plan was soft, no ink, no vow, but strong enough to matter now. I waited near the vending hum, pretending soda buzzed like drums. Then minutes blinked into a void, a quiet space that hope destroyed. No message came, no steps, no voice, just echoes filling up the choice. And when I looked down one more lane, I saw the truth without my name. He forgot, but she remembered every laugh like matchstick embers. Side by side, they shared the light while I walked home with faded right. No sorry wait or backward glance, just shrinking steps and lost romance. He let go of what we planned and reached for her, not my hand. Sidewalk cracks like broken cues. Her voice replaced my avenue. Their shadows stretched across the street, the kind of joy you can't delete. They didn't see me standing there. I was the air that filled despair. I turned before they met my eyes. Let silence wrap me in disguise. My playlist shuffled just in time to drown the ache between each line. Was I the backup in his scene, a choice he made behind the screen? Or did he smile and just forget the only part I can't reset? He forgot, but she was glowing like spring had stirred without knowing. Their laughter danced so light, so free. I kept that space like sacred ground, but he redrew it, turned around with someone else to fill the frame, and I erased my waiting name. He forgot, and maybe that's the sharpest cut that never cracks. No fight, no storm, no messy scene, just laughter where my hope had been. She smiled like I'd never tried, and he just matched her with his stride. Some promises don't need goodbyes, they just dissolved behind your eyes. Did you hear like static buzz? A whisper wrapped in casual fuzz. Her voice was a light just passing through, but every syllable was cruel. He likes the type that shines and dares, with lighter hair and louder stares. I nodded once, pretended chill, but something deep forgot to still. My lips curved up like it was fine, but shadows cracked along the spine. A miracle, I walked away, afraid of what I'd see today. Don't make me check the lines I wear, don't make me judge my skin, my stare. He likes the kind I'll never be, and that truth burned too visibly. One sentence spun the world off track, now every glance feels like attack. The girl he dreams is not like this, just shimmer, noise, and lips he'd miss. His words weren't meant for me to hear, but now they live behind my ear. The hallway lights became too white, like every eye revealed the fight. I smiled again just for the script, but self-belief had slightly slipped. The locker mirror stayed shut tight, as if it knew I'd lost the right to look inside and not compare to someone else who wasn't there. Why does one line erase so much? Why does a voice destroy with touch? She didn't mean it, not that way, but now I doubt my DNA. He likes a girl with fire and glow, but I'm a shadow, soft and low. No one told me to feel small, but here I am, not built at all. The glass reflects a distant face, like someone else took up my place. Though I breathe, I disappear inside a truth I didn't steer. What hurts the most is not the fact, it's how the mirror won't react. It shows me back, but not as whole, just blurred